The times have changed, so has the delivery of news. We believe local news needs to be easily accessible. Hey, Owensboro, get with the times. Subscribe today at owensborotimes.com.
Hi, I'm Matt Castle with Castle Steel.
And I'm Daniel Dick with Daniel Dick State Farm.
And we're proud to partner with Owensboro Times.
It's never been more important than now to meet the candidates.
It's a vital part of our republic democracy for candidates to come forward and run for public office. I'm grateful for the individuals willing to run on the issues that are important to them and this community. Thank you for your willingness to serve the people of Owensboro.
Lastly, we want to thank you for joining us.
The town hall begins now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Owensboro Times Primary Election Town Hall. I'm Jake Boswell. I'll be moderating the event this afternoon. First, I'd like to explain the format. Candidates drew for their spot on stage upon arrival today, and candidates were then given topics ahead of time, but specific questions are going to be asked right now for the first time during this event. Candidates are going to have 60 seconds to answer each question. The order in which candidates respond will be reversed for each question. Each candidate will also be given 60 seconds to deliver a closing statement. The community's input was factored heavily into the formation of the questions to make sure that we address the important topics to you. Guests are not going to be allowed to ask the candidates questions during the event. In the first of our 9 segments today, we'll be joined by the 2 candidates for Davis County Clerk. Let's introduce our candidates to you right now, and then we'll get started. Joining us are Tonya Payne and Leslie McCarty. Our first question goes to you, Ms. Payne.
Okay.
What specifically would your office do to ensure the integrity of local elections and to make sure that all steps of the election process are transparent?
One thing that I always did when I was supervisor at election department is we double-checked, we double-checked our checks constantly. Davis County has never had any fraud or anything with our equipment, especially with the recount when we opened up the machines. Everything was accounted for. Everything was up to, except for you had to go by voter intent. If they scratched one out and they marked the other, you had to accept that as their intent, and that is a KRS on that. The integrity and the importance of an election is very, very important.
Ms. McCarty, I'll restate the question for you. What specifically would your office do to ensure the integrity of local elections and to make sure that all steps of the election process are transparent?
Well, I definitely have to agree with Tonya that, our office has never had any issue with fraud. So, the county clerk is the first and last line of defense for election security. And recently, the office has purchased new equipment through HARP Election Services, and HARP has been our vendor for many years, and even with the previous machines that we had, none of them were hooked up to the internet. I won't say they're unhackable, but they're very difficult to hack. And as Tonya said, you double check all your lists, you check all your work, and basically go by the law. If you follow the law, your integrity will be intact.
And for the second question, we're going to reverse the order this time around. So, Ms. McCarty, you'll get this question first. What, if any, ideas do you have to increase voter turnout in both primary and general elections?
Well, I have found that voter turnout is difficult. You can sign up and have many voter registration drives, but getting voters to vote has always been the issue. I mean, we have over 76,000 registered voters in Davis County. So that's always been the big dilemma. So yeah, if you have any ideas, I would love to hear them.
Ms. Payne, I'll restate the question to you. What, if any, ideas do you have to increase voter turnout in both primary and general elections?
Just like Leslie said, it's people want to come in and do voter drives a lot. That's not the issue, getting people registered. It is actually getting them to turn out to vote. What voters don't realize is your local elections mean a lot because that affects everybody in Davis County. of course, your president and all that has things to do, but your local candidates is what matters. And the people really need to do their research and go out and vote for these candidates because it affects their lives here in Davis County.
We'll move on now to the third of our 4 total questions, and this one goes to you, Ms. Payne, first. The clerk's office goes well beyond managing elections. What's your experience overseeing these services, and are there ways that those processes can be made more efficient for the benefit of local residents?
The clerk's office does a lot. I mean, it goes to transferring your vehicles, to renewing your vehicles, to recording your homes and deeds, your mortgages. It does a lot. My goal is to give a better experience to the public when they come in. They don't want to come in and see us because the only thing we're doing is taking their tax money. And I want to make it a better experience. I want to be able to work that line with the other deputy clerks to get them in and get them out, not make them wait, is what I would like to do.
Ms. McCarty, the same question to you. The clerk's office goes well beyond managing elections. What's your experience overseeing these services, and are there ways you feel like these processes can be made more efficient for the benefit of people in Davis County?
Well, I think in my first term, my overall experience has been very positive, and I had a plan when I was elected to move the clerk's office forward into the 21st century by getting more things online and also remodeling the records room. So being able to access our online records, such as mortgages, deeds, titles, marriages, making that more accessible for everyone in Davis County. And also, like I said, we're in the middle of a remodel. The clerk's records room has not been remodeled since 1968 when the courthouse was built. So I think making that more efficient, getting our records online and using more social media. We did not have a social media presence or much of one until 2019, especially when we had all these crazy things happen like a recount and a pandemic. So I hope to keep doing that going forward.
Ms. McCarty, our 4th and final question of this forum, it goes to you first. Are there any ways the clerk's office could improve its dissemination of important or pressing information to the public, whether it be related to elections or any of the other services?
Well, what I have liked so far is that we have partnered with Fiscal Court, and they are very good about getting our message out. You know, they hired somebody to do their media, so they cover us on their Facebook page, on Instagram. We also do that as well on our own. You know, mainly going out into the community, keep going to community events, I think is a great way to disseminate information, and having great relationships with the Owensboro Times, the Messenger Inquirer. So I think building those relationships and being community-minded really helps put our message out there.
Ms. Payne, same question to you. Are there any ways the clerk's office can improve its dissemination of any important or pressing information to the public, whether that's related to elections or other duties?
I agree with Leslie on the media part. A lot of your older people, though, they don't do Facebook and, Instagram or anything like that. They're with the paper. They're with the Owensboro Times. And the clerk's responsibility is to put public notice out there to the public on anything that's going to happen. And I just think the more that we can put it out there with Owensboro Times, the Messenger Inquirer, that's something that's very important because there's a lot of things that the public doesn't know what's going on. So we need to really get that put out there, even if it's on Facebook, Owensboro Times, Messenger Inquirer. It needs to be done pretty much weekly.
Well, that ends the question portion of this round of the forum, but we now have time for each of you to give a 60-second closing statement. And Ms. Payne, I'll let you give your closing statement first.
Okay. All right. The citizens of Davis County and the deputy clerks of the office need my 22 years of experience. I started off with Mike Libbs and worked in the vehicle transfers, did dealers. Then when David Osborne, I always call him Oz, come in 2007, he cross-trained. So we were cross-trained to do all the departments. And in 2011, he appointed me to the election department with Richard House at the time. And in 2013, I was appointed the supervisor. I had a friend of mine that come to me and said she waited in line for 45 minutes. Not that she was discouraged with that, but when she looked up, she saw 4 to 5 empty windows. That's the face you're going to see is mine in that window helping the deputy clerks and the public. Thank you.
Ms. McCarty, give you 1 minute for your closing statement.
Sure. So my opponent has said previously at a forum that she will open and close the gate. Well, I believe that gatekeeping is limitation to accessibility. I am the clerk when the office is closed. When I was first elected, my predecessor, Oz, told me that my job was to steer the ship. My leadership has steered this ship with great success and will continue to do so if you reelect me on May 17th.
Well, thank you both. That wraps up the first session of the day. Thanks to everyone who took the time to watch. Thank you to each of the candidates for joining us here today, the candidates for Davis County Clerk. We also want to thank the Bluegrass Museum, the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum for allowing us to host the town hall here. Thank you to our presenting sponsors as well, Castle & Steel and Daniel Dick State Farm Insurance Agent, and supporting sponsor, Mudd's Furniture. We'd like to leave you with one final message as we end the first round of this forum. That's to make sure you vote in the primary. Open now, primary election day, May 17th. Thanks for watching. Thanks to both the candidates for being here with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.